Hey guys, welcome back to Lovin Dubai Show. Today we have Lebanese social media star based in Dubai. Tracy's journey challenges social expectations and proves that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. A story to inspire. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you, Tracy Harmoush.
Thank you so much for having me. Wow, round of applause as well. Thank you.
So tell us, I said right before the show, I've been following your journey for quite a while, but obviously people aren't born on Instagram. So how did your journey to social media start? And tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I started on social. I had a private account for the longest time, but I publicized my account back in 2018. I was in finance prior to that, so I kind of wanted to stay private with the clients that I had. I didn't really want to put myself in adventures when I was traveling and taking sick leaves off of work. So I basically transitioned, and it started with me adding, documenting progress in the gym because I had time on my hands, starting a new training regime that I've never done before, calisthenics. And with that, I think people found relatability, and when it's relatable, they kind of want to follow the journey. So I think that was mainly my goal, to find some sort of relatability between myself and the people that are following me.
Amazing.
Definitely. So moving on to our next question, what inspired your powerful message, you're not too old and it's not too late?
I think it's because everything that I've discovered about myself, be it the version of real confidence versus the kind of confidence you think you have in your 20s, the career paths that I'm choosing now in my late 30s versus where I was in my 20s, remembering the fears I had in my 20s, the insecurities I had with I'm running out of time, it's too late, be it in marriage and work, and now being where I am now, I kind of feel like I'm just getting started. And I kind of wish that when I was 20-something, someone were to tell me,
yes, of course,
you're not too old and it's not too late, you know?
So true, love that.
This really reminds me of the famous quote, if not now, then when? Mm-hmm. I feel like you really correlate really well with that quote for sure. And moving on to our second question, leaving a 10-year career at 31 is bold. What drove this decision and how did it impact your life's trajectory?
Well, it obviously impacted it for the better. Not to say, and I would never push the idea of leaving your career. I think there's a lot of hardship that comes with entrepreneurship, especially if you don't have resilience to stress and to volatility. So it is not for everybody. It's not the idea of transitioning. What inspired me was just to do something that I'm proud of, that I feel fulfilled and I have a purpose with. Okay, it's not so much about find your passion. All that jazz is really nice on paper, but when it comes to it, it could be very, very difficult to feel passionate about what you're doing when you're running out of money, when everything is on your plate, when all the responsibilities are on you, when you don't have a team, when you don't have colleagues to help or offload or take over when you want to go on holiday. Mm. So the idea is just to do something of purpose that's interesting for you, that you feel like you can add some value, and that's kind of what inspired me. I felt like I was plateauing in my old career in terms of my interest in the career, not the fact that the career itself was plateaued, but my interest in it was plateauing. So that was my biggest inspiration, and the only thing that keeps you going is if you have that kind of resilience and you can keep pushing through, you know?
Speaking of resilience and pushing through, and just a little bit back on the it's never too old, it's never too late, do you have any key life moments that you feel that kind of resonate with that, so that you've been able to kind of overcome if you're going from 20s to 30s, what key moments have you changed or turned on their head based on that philosophy?
Yeah, one that comes to mind would be a breakup at 27. I know in this region and even across the world, a lot of girls that are 24, 25, 26 tend to think of marriage very soon. A lot don't, but a lot do. And then they tend to think, I don't have a guy yet. I haven't been in a relationship in such a long time. And when my breakup after a 5-year very serious relationship happened, at 27, I was devastated. I thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to find another guy right now. I'm not ready to date. I never wanted to date more than 1 or 2 guys before I get married. I had the tick box. And then, when it happened, you're forced to be alone. You're forced to figure it out and enjoy your life as it is while you're single. And then you're not only just being single, you're enjoying yourself, your companionship. And I grew a lot from that. And I thought to myself later on, when I got married at 35, I didn't get married till 35, and I'm super happy. Obviously, I have a great husband. And again, another thing, it's not too old. So you're never too old, and it's not. You're not too old, and it's not too late. And it's only the case, and it's only applicable. And I keep saying that if you're the kind of person that will put yourself in a situation where you're going to say, I'm going to power through this. This is a test of life, and I'm going to push through it. I'm going to do what I can to be happy, to be good, to be content, so I can attract the right things. Because if you don't put yourself, then yeah, absolutely, it is too late, and you are too old because you're acting as such. So you're going to attract that kind of energy. So that saying only is applicable if you really put yourself in a position to say, I got this, and you feel the confidence in you wear the shoes properly, and you feel the confidence to do so, and you attract accordingly.
So do you feel like that breakup you went through opened your eyes to a lot of different things?
Not the breakup per se, but it was one of the many tests of life, and one of the things that made me feel like, okay, I got this. And then a career change at 31. Oh my God, this could be the end of the world. I'm never going to be able to find something that I'm good at. Obviously, things showed otherwise. I got this. Losing money, making money after that again. Great, I got this. So, I mean, obviously with age, you have the experience to say, oh, okay, it wasn't just the one-off luck. It wasn't just the second thing that I got lucky with. This is life. This is life. You lose and you make, and you take a step back and you take 2 steps forward. And people should recognize the pattern and then, be okay to handle the next one that comes about,
Speaking of being able to handle the next one, I feel like I know parts of your life because I followed your journey for a certain point. So from learning a backflip, you've started an app, lots of different pivotal life moments, but from the outsider's perspective, everything kind of looks glossy, right? So is there any kind of specific challenge that you would describe that you've been able to overcome that maybe we may not know about?
Oh man, so many. I don't even know where to start. But I try to talk about challenges. I mean, I think that's what my own podcast is about, what they don't tell us. So I try to live my life showing the challenges along the way. And not just the final product. I think that's really important for anyone in entrepreneurial positions. I mean, it's not very inspiring to show the end polished product. What's more inspiring if someone says, by the way, I failed 25 times before I got this right. And I'm like,
100%.
Okay, now I have some ammunition to keep moving forward. That is inspiring to me. It's not so inspiring to say, look at my final product. This app looks great. And for me, it was starting a business, when I opened my company, Untraceable, I wanted it to be an adventure concept. COVID hit, a few things happened, and I didn't have the courage to put it out because I thought, if it's not perfect, then it's not ready to be out. And if my concept is not perfect in my mind, then it shouldn't be out yet. And little did I know, after I started different businesses later, that actually, no, if you have to put it out first to test the concept. No one's going to care if it's not perfect first. You can always adjust and fix and amend. How many brands do we know we're like, oh, wow, I never really paid attention to this brand, but this year it looks great. The packaging's different. The flavors are different. People are okay to allow you to make mistakes publicly. You don't need to kind of dwell in your fears of it not being perfect. That was my biggest lesson. I kind of took that with me along the way.
I feel like both you and me are quite curious to know, on the topic of your career, who has impacted your career the most? Who has inspired your career the most? Which figure in your life?
I think it's many things. Many people and many things as well. It's a value system that I've held since I was very young, at the thought of it's not okay for you not to be independent. And I've seen that firsthand of what happens in a family if you do not know how to be independent yourself. If a family member loses money, is unable to make money, if you're widowed, if so and so and so, and then you're in a position where you're stuck because you've never figured out a version of making money, not a full-time job, not one of those difficult situations where you're unable to raise kids, be it a man or a woman. If you're unable to be independent in all aspects, whether it's financial or whether it's doing your own laundry or whether it's making a basic meal at home, a version of independence, and life happens, you'll be stuck. And when you're stuck, you won't know how to make decisions. So that concept on its own inspires me, that I need to be able to figure out different ways to make money smartly, where I don't need to be giving all of my time, trading all of my time for money. No, I could kind of find a smart balance where I can make some passive income. I could, dabble with a podcast here, different streams of income that's not really making me drown. So that's one thing. And then the people I surround myself with, I would say people that have done it before me in the specific industry. So assume my latest venture, Mama Buza, it's an ice cream concept that I have, and I'm very proud of it. Anyone that I've known in F&B, I think it's important to surround yourself with people that have done it before you. Ask the questions, be vulnerable enough or park your ego on the side to say, you know what, I need to know, I don't know, and I need to know. So that is on Mama Buza's front. On social media, my friends that were on social before me, obviously, hey, I don't know how to charge for this. I don't know what publication to put this on. Please help me out. And, you just surround yourself with people and ask the questions. I mean, ask. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to think you don't know. You're not smart enough. Just ask the questions and you will get smart enough. And then people will ask you one day,
Mm-hmm. So surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It does bring us on to the next question of career, marriage, life, and finding that balance. Do you have tips for people who struggle, whether or not they have a full-time career or whether or not they're freelancing roles, to get that? Do you believe in work-life balance, and do you feel like you've achieved it?
Yes, I definitely believe in work-life balance, and if you don't feel you have it, then you're doing something wrong, because there's only so much you can do before you burn out. At times, I like to take care of my home. I like to take care of my husband. I like to cook. I like to cook for him. I have this nurturing kind of mentality, but I'm also a career woman. So I'm not to say that you need to do everything. You need to be everything. But at times I'm like, maybe let's order food all week. I have a crazy ass job that I need to get to. There's no way I can handle it this week. I have a big proposal I need to work on. And then he takes over. So I think that we kind of have this balance where please manage the house or the maintenance or whatever, and I'll be at work, and then when he has a busy week, I'll manage everything, the pets and whatever. That's important. I think Wael and I also work together a lot, and I love that because our conversation is not solely around, okay, so how are the dogs and how's the bird, and we're not talking about the house stuff. Eventually, when we have kids, a lot of families end up talking about kids only. With us, we inspire each other with ideas, with conversation, with goals. We set goals together. So that's work-life balance for me, because it's my life with my husband, and we're talking about work, and we're trying to put everything together. I think an old mentality was, don't work with your spouse, it'll be hell. And yeah, maybe we do fight. We go head to head because we don't see eye to eye on a specific project. But the idea of relationships is to work on better communication, on how to get your point across by kind of being considerate to somebody else's point. So whether we're talking about work or whether we're talking about a fight, it's the same thing. It's practice, and we're putting that into practice. But it just so happens to be in the work and the work-related conversation.
I'd really like to ask you something. So a lot of young people, teenagers, people in their early 20s, they deal a lot with the pressure of social media. And of course, as you, a face in social media, what would be your biggest advice to them, especially females?
Okay. So if we're talking about really young girls, I would say it starts with the parents to kind of guide your children safely on social media. You should know better, because it's going to be, already we fall for a lot of the social media tricks, the AI girls, the filters. We sometimes fall for it, and we're like, oh man, but my face is not that perfect, or my nose is not that perfect, and we tend to forget, oh, maybe there's a filter on there, maybe it's edited. So it starts with the parents to kind of guide their teenage girls, especially, that this is not real. This is what pores look like. This is what skin looks like. So it starts there. Secondly, I think there's a huge influx of teenagers that want to be famous. I sit with friends of mine or people I meet, and the first question their kids would ask me around that age bracket is, how many followers do you have?
Wow.
Or are you famous on social media? And it just it catches me off guard. Mm-hmm. And the parents either feel embarrassed or they're like, oh, I'm sorry, but you know how it is. And then I'm like, I know how it is. I'm not judging the kids, because this is the conversation. We used to talk about magazine covers when it was back in our day, and this is the generation. But if there's anything that would actually ease the insecurity of the following and what's important and trying to be famous, is if you're famous for something. if your kid wants to be on social media, I don't think that's the issue. I think the bigger thing is get on social media, but what message are you going to put out there? What are you going to be famous for? You're not going to just grow a following, because when you have no purpose or no North Star, then you're just going to put anything and everything. You're going to copy other people. You're going to be someone you're not. And that pressure is a pressure that most kids break from. They can't handle because they're wearing boots that don't fit. If you're the best martial artist in your class, in a class that you're taking, and you're putting your martial arts on Instagram and you're growing, then the pressure is to be the best martial artist. It's not to grow a giant following. It is to be the best martial artist. And the byproduct is you'll probably get famous on Instagram. But at the same time, you would have learned an amazing skill that you could take with you in the future. So I think that is the most important thing. Find something you're good at. The best makeup artist, the best painter, the best martial artist, or whatever it is, and put it online. And that pressure would kind of be growing in the skill and not growing a following.
Strong advice. We only have time for a couple more questions. And one thing that we have to ask is, of course, your bestie. Speaking of social media, one of your besties is Karen Wassen. So we wanted to ask, just rewind, tell people how you guys met, how you know each other.
Wow. Since we're 5, actually. She used to live she was born in the UK, I was born in the US, and then we both moved to Lebanon at the same time in the same year in the same grade. So we kind of found a click. Oh, okay, you're new and I'm new, so let's be friends. And we were best friends ever since. We went to the same school, we grew up, we left Lebanon at the same time. She moved to the UK, and then I moved to Dubai, and then we met in Dubai. So, I mean, it was like a really old friendship, and we've been best friends ever since.
So cute. Childhood friends are honestly, that's adorable.
And how you meet in Dubai, you know, like I think of my besties around the world, I just wish they were here, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, we spent some time apart when she was in London and I was here for work. I moved here when I was 21 and she was doing her master's in London. But luckily, I introduced her to her husband who lived here.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah. He was basically, I mean, he was part of my group because I was dating a guy who was living with him actually. So I know him very well. And then Karen wanted to come to Dubai and she wanted to look for a job. So she basically asked me to introduce her to someone. So I sent an email to Luch saying, I called him like this, I'm going to introduce you to my friend, help her find this so-and-so job in this company. So I'm like, hey Luch, here's Karen, CC'd. And then she had no idea who I was introducing her to because I didn't brief her. So she's like, hi, Mr. Bakhazi. This is my resume. She was like super formal. And then he's like, you don't have to be so formal, Karen. Sure, thanks for the CV. So I think they started chatting then. They met in Lebanon, and then he introduced himself as, hi, I'm Mr. Bakhazi. She's like, no, that's what you look like. I thought you were like this old, crackly guy, and now that's what you end up looking like.
So this is how we get our besties to move to Dubai. We love that.
Find them their love of their life.
Yeah. Before you leave us, you mentioned a couple of things. So you're working on a podcast and your latest ice cream venture. Can you give us a rundown of everything you've got going on right now?
Wow.
And where can I get this ice cream? I saw your Instagram and I'm like...
On Deliveroo.
Where do I get it?
It's currently on Deliveroo. It is the best ice cream, I gotta say. I mean, it's Arabian flavors, so we're so excited about it because we're kind of celebrating the culture. So you have the knafe, the ashta, you have the dark chocolate, like proper lint-based dark chocolate, pistachio. I mean, it's a good range of flavors. So I want you guys to try it. You gotta let me know what you think.
We're already dining out too much. We just spoke about it on the show, so you just added to that.
Another reason for you to order, and you can order here. Actually, they deliver all across Dubai. So that's Mama Booza. We're so excited about it. It's my first product. As a service, I have obviously the Untraceable app where I still have my training programs there. And my podcast, which is my baby, and I love it so much, What They Don't Tell Us, because it is something that I needed. I needed people to talk about the things that they don't tell us, not the polished version of things, not the things that we figure out later in life, but the things we should have learned in school before many other things, but most of us haven't. So What They Don't Tell Us is meant to change people's mindsets, to get them to unlearn where needed and to learn new things, to help them get more equipped with life. So that's on YouTube and anything audio as well.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much for being so real and honest on the show. I think you've dished out some great tips for everyone watching, so we really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for
you
having
actually
me.
left me speechless, by the way. Like, I have goosebumps. Actually, the whole time I was listening to her so deeply, I swear.
Oh, 100% me too. It was really great.
Thank you.
Guys,
thanks for having me.
It's Friday morning, and we leave you there. We'll be back with you on Monday morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Bye.